Good evening, my
fellow exorcists.
I'm gonna smack you. Good evening, my fellow exorcists, and welcome to the Lair of the Film Exorcist. Tonight, I and my friend Cinema Witch will be reviewing The Duke of Burgundy, a drama about the relationship between a pair of female lovers who play games of dominance and subservience. Well, that's a mouthful of dirty words.
I couldn't say the word sadomasochism.
She could not say sadomasochism. So yeah, this is very, very different from any movie that we've done on this channel. I mean, yeah, I've done those weird interviews back last year with all those kink people, but yeah, hey Silva, how you doing? We figured we'd mess with you with this one, since you have to look up all these images. But yeah, this is wow, I actually sound very fucking different in this episode.
Because this is a very exciting movie. Now, yes, this is no Tim Curry. I didn't know Britain could make such an amazing movie like this.
I mean, we've talked about some fucked up movies on here. We've talked about Donnie Darko. We've talked about the Rocky Horror Picture Show. We talked about Paprika. And this one, you know what's going on, but also it's just as confusing near the end. So, like we said, it's two lesbian lovers. Apparently, I believe they're supposed to be French, and they live on a French countryside. But, yeah, this is mainly their love story / their life of BDSM and sexual roleplay. And I kind of like it.
I really liked it. Just from like a psychological point, like, I really liked it.
I mean, this movie goes really deep into the idea of, which both of us have seen before in many relationships and other aspects of life. This goes on about the idea of, if your partner's happy, are you truly happy? You may put everything on the line for their happiness, but you're also not thinking about yourself, and that is shown through Cynthia and Evelyn, who,
yes.
Where one is into the submissive role play of being humiliated, being degraded, subservient, and she does this through the role of maid, essentially, where we have her lover, Cynthia, who is essentially not happy with the way things are going. I mean, she's willing to... In this movie, I'd like to take a term from one of my exes. She's a service dom. She's willing to put her own happiness on the line of essentially serving her lover to make sure she's happy, and to see her lover happy makes her happy, but also she's also not realizing that she might be a switch herself. That while she likes making other people happy, she'd like to do her own scenarios. Or she feels her lover is going way too far with these ideas. Like, one of the biggest things in this, I mean, there is bathroom play in this a bit.
Yeah, right in the beginning, I was just like, did that just happen?
For some reason, I thought she drowned her, or she,
I was like, they could have showed her drown, but they put it behind a glass pane for a reason.
And I had to look it up, and yeah.
I was like, I fucking knew it.
supposedly there was a consultant on the in the studio who knew about bathroom play, and it was, yeah, this was awkward. There's also this part where she wants to be. They were talking with this sex toy maker.
No, she was I think she was like an escort.
I don't think she was. I think she makes the toys that people use, because she was talking about a contraption for bathroom play. She was talking about building a bed where you could where the submissive sleeps under the dominant, like as a part of the bed or
Can we talk about
in
how
a drawer.
These women are freaking loaded? Like she has so much like
She has so much. Well, I mean, you can kind of
like
see that
corsets and like
with the lectures. Apparently, she's a very well-known butterfly scientist, or I don't know, because you see them giving lectures about this, so maybe through grants and other payments she gains a lot of money from this, because she is well known.
and it supports that lifestyle.
It supports that lifestyle. Again, there's the bed with the drawer in it, where there was kind of a scene where Emily was throwing a fit, kind of, because they had to wait 8 weeks for the bed to be made and then delivered, and then kind of perks up after she hears about the bathroom contraption, and as kind of a compromise, she forces Cynthia to let her sleep in a trunk. And this kind of fucks with Cynthia a bit, because she's worried that she might, well, I mean, like anyone, she might suffocate, or she might, something bad would happen. And I'm thinking this from the point of view of like with Harry Houdini, when he used to do the trunk trick through most of his shows, and everyone was horrified to watch as he was locked in this trunk with the threat of suffocation, and he'd always get out. Yeah, there's a lot of butterfly like symbolism, and also they use the butterfly to switch scenes, kinda, like a transition. But for this one, no offense to them, but I think they overused the butterflies.
I mean, there was a scene, like, literally, like, towards the end, there was just, like, a scene that went on, like, way too long. Or was it all, like, butterflies or moths?
It was all butterflies. You're also seeing the faces of the butterflies. You're seeing all this anatomy and shit, and it's... Cinema Witch actually thought that was the end of the movie.
I was like, are they gonna end like this?
I mean, even I said that would be the most fucked up thing you could do, because that was just...
I like the way that they ended this movie. I don't know if it's too soon to talk about that. We'll get there.
We'll get there. But yeah, also I think the symbolism of the butterfly is Cynthia is learning to come out a bit and express that she's unhappy.
Her needs in the relationship.
She has her needs, where also with the butterflies being hung up on the wall and being pinned to frames, I felt like Cynthia was the butterfly being trapped behind the glass pane, or being
trapped in the relationship.
Pretty much, you felt like she was being trapped, constantly worrying about her lover's sexual desires and not hers.
Right.
Which makes sense, because she seems a lot more gentle than it appears.
Yeah, so that's the interesting aspect about this movie, like the psychology of this dom sub relationship is that the sub is like very forceful and needy and selfish, while the mistress, quote unquote, is in real life, she's very soft and likes tender romance and love and being held and going out to the library and then for ice cream, and all her lover can think about is she wants to be locked up in the trunk at night.
Exactly. Or she wants to sleep throughout the day so she can sleep in the trunk.
Sleep in the trunk. And she's like, I didn't know that was a thing.
Exactly. And there's also the part in this movie where Cynthia realizes that she's getting older, and you see she has back problems in this movie, especially after moving the trunk, and it's really bothering her, and she feels like her lover isn't going to want her anymore after a while. And you can kind of see that in the scene where she hears about her lover polishing someone else's boots, and it's like, you betrayed me, you left me for this other person, and it really fucks with her, because again, she realizes she's getting old, she's not gonna be this young forever, she's not gonna be able to do all of this forever, and her lover is leaving her for someone else. And that is a big thing in most relationships, where there's the idea that, oh, if I don't do this constantly, or if I don't do this for the rest of our lives, she's gonna get tired of me and leave me and find something else.
Right. And they're like, towards the end of the movie, there's like a very emotional scenes where she's trying to carry out the scene that they're in.
And she breaks down.
And she's just like, I don't know how much more I can take of this.
And this here is where they come to an agreement that Amelia or Emily, whatever the hell her name is. Evelyn, whatever. Evelyn realizes, I'm hurting my lover and I need to pull back a bit. I'm becoming too greedy, I'm becoming too forceful, and I'm not thinking of what the other person needs, which is also another big aspect of relationships, because it's a two-way street, essentially. If one's not happy, the other one's essentially going to be hurt in the process.
Mm-hmm. Not to, like, beat a dead horse, but, like, better than anything that most other BDSM movies out there have done, namely 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you also gotta think, a lot of those movies, they're looking at the romantic side of this. They're looking at the idea that, oh, this is such a powerful thing between people, it's never going to be a problem, where here, you're looking at it from the point of view of...
like a pretty realistic point of view, like something that you could actually see happen in like a real...
I mean, don't get me wrong, those movies aren't wrong. There are relationships that work out perfectly and barely have any problems, but those are because those are equal shares. Mm-hmm. Those are the relationships where it's a dom or a sub or a little and a daddy, because they understand their roles, and those are the roles that make them happy, and they're able to live out their specific role that makes them happy. Where here, again, I think both of them are switches, technically. I mean, well, there is the idea that technically the submissive does control the relationship most of the time, which it took me a while to learn this. the sub is in control. They have to agree to anything that the dominant wants to do. And if they don't agree, it's not getting done. So essentially, the submissive has more control in the relationship than most people think.
Right, because they're mostly the ones that are being done too. So I guess that makes sense.
Exactly, and that's kind of shown also in here with the scene where Cynthia has essentially had enough. She's pissed off. She's betrayed, and she
deals punishment, but it is actually cruel.
It is very cruel. She makes Evelyn make her own birthday cake, and then she eats it in front of her while she uses her face as a footstool. And we see this is one of the darkest scenes because it goes into the idea of
her betraying the safe word.
What happens if the safe word goes unused or is essentially disregarded, where that is a big no-no in the idea of consent, and this is put on the forefront that this happens, I believe, a lot, many times, because there are a lot of stories out there of certain relationships that do end up in one of the partners getting hurt or worse. And this kind of shows that this could have ended up similar to that. And again, that is symbolized in the dream, that the one partner is afraid that if she continues on this path that Evelyn wants, she's gonna end up hurting her badly. Honestly, this is one of the best romance movies out there.
Yeah, definitely a lesson in just, building a positive relationship.
And taking a look at what's needed to keep the relationship going.
Yeah, in the end, they actually form, a much healthier relationship.
Healthier.
Yeah.
Air quotes.
Healthier, where one person gets the soft romantic stuff that they want, and, the kinky sub gets subbed.
This is the first time I've seen Peter Strickland film, and I'm kind of glad we did. I mean, we were going through a long list of BDSM movies to watch.
Basic Instinct, 9.5 Weeks, The Secretary.
I suggested Wolf of Wall Street, which might have been way too long. 50 Shades of Grey was definitely off the table because that is a horrible movie.
Actually, there have been good reviews of that. I will send it to you. But
I don't believe that. I've seen a list where most of the cast was put on these people were not meant to portray these characters.
Yeah, anyway.
A triple plus.
It was really good. This was amazing.
I wouldn't recommend this to kids or young teens, but
definitely if you're of age, and especially if you have a working knowledge of BDSM relationships.
We definitely recommend this movie to you because this is really good for a movie with no rating and made by the United Kingdom, which again was a very interesting thing to see because it's the United Kingdom making a BDSM movie about French characters, and that kind of confused me for a bit. I had almost thought this was going to be another French foreign film.
Because we on that list was a ton of French films.
With subtitles, There was also an 80s movie,
I think that was 9.5 weeks.
9.5 weeks. The Secretary was...
That looks weird.
That looks like bad quality. Where, compared to this one, I am surprised. And, yeah, the even bigger surprise is we're doing this at the beginning of the Christmas season.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
This has been our review of the Duke of Burgundy.
Fucking good. Watch
Fucking
it.
good, and I'm still kind of surprised there is no Duke in this movie.
Maybe the Duke is the friends we made along the way.
Oh my god. Nah, apparently I saw something on Wikipedia that it's supposed to be a butterfly or something like that.
Probably.
But yeah, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and
Sorry, Silva, that you have to find all these weird-ass, stinky images, and...
yeah, get ready for Eyes Wide Shut next week. So yeah, have a great night, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the little notification bell for more videos, and to get notifications for more videos, and we'll see you next week. So
Take care. Bye.
keep your ropes and your straitjackets
Don't-
in the
don't-
closet, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't be weird.
Why? We're supposed to be weird on The Film Exorcist.
Alright.